Alright, it's a month and a half late, but I've finalized my slides for the games I played in 2025. I do apologize for me misspeaking or saying a lot, but I am not great at presentations, so I'm just going to go through this. First category is games that I've beaten this year. And the first game in that category is Addy. So I got bullied into playing this by a guy at work. Had a decent amount of fun, picked it up on Steam, and got the achievements for that. So, it is a short visual novel about college life. I didn't really care for the titular character, and I did not really find the story to be that engaging, I guess. I'm not sure the right term for that, but had enough fun. If you do decide to pick this game up and you want all the achievements, I think they do still need to be done in a single sitting as of this recording, so that's probably something you'll need to keep in mind. But overall, had a decent amount of fun, so I give it a 5 out of 10. Next up, we have Donkey Kong Bonanza. So this game is similar to Mario Odyssey in that it incentivizes you to explore and gives you some fun movement stuff to incentivize you to explore. About most of the levels can be destroyed, so you can dig little tunnels and punch your way into various places, which is very fun. The main downside that I found is that you hit about the halfway point and enemies start dealing enough damage that you need to significantly invest in your HP. And even doing so, most of them will take out like half of your HP bar in one hit. And personal preference, but I didn't really care for the final boss fight. So overall, I'd say this is a 9 out of 10. Next up, we have the Little Gator game. And this one is an exploration game, similar to like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So you can shield surf, you can climb, you can glide. You start off with a stamina system similar to Breath of the Wild, but it follows a group of kids playing a giant game on the playground with lots of quests and stuff to do. Very fun. Give it an 8 out of 10. Next up, we have Little Kitty Big City. So this one is very similar to Little Gator game in that it is a Breath of the Wild style exploration type deal. But this one is more centered around climbing. So you fall off your perch while you're napping, and you have to get back up there. And to do so, you need to go traverse around the city and replenish your strength so you can climb back up to your napping spot. I give this one 8 out of 10. Next up, we have Psychonauts and the Rhombus of Ruin. This one is a VR puzzler. It's kind of weird to mess with. I think I managed to do it in one afternoon, so like 3 or 4 hours, possibly a bit more. But mostly, you just use the clairvoyance ability to see what NPCs are seeing and solve various puzzles. It's very fun, and a lot of the character models that close in your face is very unnerving. Give it a 7 out of 10. Next up, we have Psychonauts 2. So this one is a very different vibe from the first Psychonauts game, whereas the first one is more of a detective story. This one is more of a what really happened in the detective stories style of narrative. So this one was a lot of fun. The platforming was very solid. Eventually, though, they start recycling enemy types, and that gets kind of frustrating. And also, fall damage does exist in this game, despite Raz being an acrobat, which doesn't make any sense to me, but I didn't design the game, so give it a 9 out of 10. Next up, we have Tower Wizard. So this is an idle game I had picked up last year, as opposed to some of the other ones I was messing with, but just didn't have anything to say on. This one has a definitive end, so you slowly build the tower, gathering resources from the various points, and eventually having to break through walls by amassing an army. But overall takes about 10 hours to beat, so I give this one a 7 out of 10. So for this section, all the slides are listed in my personal ranking order. So the first slide is the most favorable game that I played this year for Zelda. And the second slide and last slide for Zelda, I did not complete the games this year, but had played enough of them to actually develop some sort of an opinion. So without further ado, first up, Link's Awakening. This one, 10 out of 10. The only ones I would put above this are Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Twilight Princess has some of the best items in the game, and I expected this one to not be nearly as good because I've seen a lot of hate online, but absolutely love this, 10 out of 10. Oracle of Seasons is Game Boy Color paired up with Oracle of Ages. This one is a lot more combat focused. I think I tended to like this one more. The other one was a bit too easy. Link Between Worlds, I liked a lot, despite the fact that it is based off of Link to the Past. Oracle of Ages, I played with the Link code from Seasons, so I think this one was a bit too easy, but it's the puzzle-based game. It was a lot of fun, and I think story-wise it makes a bit more sense to do it here instead of the other way around. The original, this one is very fun. Recommend playing it, but you should take a look at the manual, and also if you know someone who's already played it, it's probably a good idea to have them accompany. Minish Cap, this one was a replay. Still enjoy it, but not as much as some of the other ones I've done. Cadence of Hyrule is a Crypt of the Necrodancer spin-off game for the Switch. Had a lot of fun with this, but it is kind of weird. Then Four Swords Anniversary, I played on the DS by myself, which is probably not the best way to play this, but it was fun enough. Link to the Past, I did not care for. This is my I did not care for the Godfather moment, but more on that to come in the future. Then we have Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, which is not my cup of tea, and I will probably not beat this game. Next category I have is the played category, so these are games that I played but did not finish. So first up, we have the Cars tie-in game. So this is set after the first movie. It's a lot of racing on dirt roads, and then occasionally forcing you to go through the slog that is NASCAR racing. I had played this originally on the GameCube and revisited it with a PS2 emulator, and the PC port is terrible, and do not buy the Steam port to play this. But had a lot of fun from what I was messing around with. So, 7 out of 10. Next, Expedition 33. So, I really enjoyed this one. I just was not able to devote enough time to actually get through all of it. But the storyline is sort of a Logan's Run style thing where people die after a certain age. But the RPG system is very fun. You get MP back from parrying and from attacking with your basic attack. And each character has their own weird, unique gimmick, which is very fun. I give it a 9 out of 10. Next up, we have Constance. So this one deals with burnout and artist struggles. A lot of the movement abilities you can get in this game are very fun, but also because of that, some of the segments can be a bit jank. So they have a stamina bar, and you can continue to use the stamina bar after it is depleted, but you will start taking damage after that, which I found to be an interesting mechanic. But it's about 10 hours, I think at around 6, I was about halfway through. Next up, we have Decline's Drops. So this one is a side-scrolling beat-em-up platformer. It has a very nice art style that I really liked, but it uses the Smash Brothers style controls, where you press an attack button with a direction and you will do a different attack than what your standard attack would be. So you have like your neutral air, your up air, down air, forward air, back air, and specials and smash attacks and all that. I've only seen 2 boss fights here, but both of them were actually very cool. And sometimes hitboxes on enemies and bosses can be a bit jank, is one of my main complaints. Overall, so far I give it an 8 out of 10. Next up, we have Hades 2. I mentioned last year, but it has since gotten a full release. So, Hades 2, they've added a lot of stuff. There are no more placeholder assets. Everything is finally here, and it is definitely worth going to take a look at this game. Next up, Hollow Knight Silksong. So, I really enjoyed what I've played of this game, but I do think that I am slowly hitting the point where my skill level is not actually enough to complete it. But, very good game. It's a Metroidvania, so you sort of know what you're getting into with that. I appreciate all the tool selection in Silksong, so you can actually change your playstyle as opposed to the original Hollow Knight, which was basically just bash an enemy until they stop moving. Overall, absolutely love this. 10 out of 10. Next up is Jetlancer. So this one is a 2D mission-based air combat game. I really liked it, but I was not good at it, and so I think I got about 15-ish levels in and then had to stop for a bit. But gives you a dodge roll in the air, and you can customize your ship with the weapons you want, and was very fun. Overall, 7 out of 10. Next up, Mario Kart World. So I was very excited for this before it released, but when I actually started playing it, I did not have as much fun as expected. The open world I figured to be like Forza, where you would be driving and you'd see rival racers and you could like challenge them to races or whatever. And that is not the direction they took. So there's like some puzzle race type stuff that you can do on the overworld, but that's about the extent of it. And then there's also the problem of when you're doing a Grand Prix, most of the tracks, aside from the first one, are going to be getting to the next track. So you're not racing on, let's say you have to drive to Rainbow Road. You'd only get about 1.5 tracks on Rainbow Road from that. But had some interesting ideas. The Knockout Tour is a very fun use of the game's setting, but overall, I think just 7 out of 10 wasn't really what I wanted in a Mario Kart game. Next up, we have Megabonk. So it is a Vampire Survivors clone using 3D movement and taking some elements from Risk of Rain 2. So each stage, you have to go find the boss portal, summon the boss, beat the boss, and go through the portal. It's a very fun game, but it does have a much slower pace to unlocking stuff than Vampire Survivors did. But overall, still 9 out of 10 for this style of game. Next up, we have Nubby's Number Factory. So this is a Plinko style game similar to like Peglin or Peggle. So you shoot the ball, it will pop the numbers, and then you try and hit the score goal for the round. It is very satisfying when you actually get everything to work like you want, but it is also a bit frustrating trying to get to that point. Overall, I give this an 8 out of 10. Next up, we have Pseudo Regalia. So this one is a very short 3D Metroidvania. I think it takes about 10 hours or so. Well, 7 hours is what I've listed in the slide. But I've played this in spurts, so I have gotten very lost, and I am unsure on where I need to go next on this. Hence why I did not quite beat it this year. but very good looking game. Movement skills are great. The music is great. Just keep in mind that combat isn't the best in this game, so if that's what you're here for, you're not going to enjoy it. Overall, probably a 7 out of 10. Next up, we have Rhythm Doctor. So I played this in like the last 2 or 3 weeks of 2025, but very fun game. They do a lot with their one button setup. It's very simple setup to start off with, and then they introduce a bunch of new mechanics, and by the end, you're doing some crazy stuff. Not a very long game, but they do have custom charts available on the Steam Workshop, which is great. So once you finish the story, you can go there, or even before you finish the story, because I know I didn't wait on that. Overall, 9 out of 10. And then we have Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. So I think I like this one a lot more than I liked Mario Kart World. The racing structure is more of you have 3 different tracks, and you will do you'll do 1 lap on the track, and then in the middle there will be a separate track that you will race on, and then you'll go back to the original, which will have some new pathways open that you can go down. So you'll race through those, and then the last race in the cup will be a lap on each of the tracks you race through. The rival system is great. It's some unique dialogue between 2 of the characters that were in the base game, so anybody that is not a DLC can have an interaction with the rival, and there will actually be dialogue in between the 2. The only downside of this game is that the water mechanics are not good. So, aside from that, overall, this is a 9 out of 10 game. Final category I've got is the software category, which is very short. So, I'm going to talk about Archipelago. This is a multi-world randomizer, so you'll pick a couple of different games, and the items in each game will be randomized amongst all the games selected. So you might pick Link's Awakening and say Kirby's Adventure in Dream. So you might find the Master Sword in Kirby and send that to the Awakening player. You can play it by yourself, with your friends, with Deathlink on or Deathlink off. But it randomizes a bunch of games together, and it's a very fun experience to do with other people. I would recommend taking a look at the official website, which I will link in the description if this at all interests you. And that's it. Thanks.